Thank you so much. Namaste. First of all, you discovered that you had this power, the siddhi, to enlighten people and for many other things that you've performed. When did you discover that you had this power inside you?
Well, it was about 15 years ago that I discovered that I had the power to transform people. Earlier, there was the power to help people with their problems, but I could not really bring about transformation in the sense that we call enlightenment. I did bring about some transformation in people, but it wasn't enlightenment. It was about 15 years ago that I did discover that I could give Deeksha and bring about enlightenment.
Mm-hmm. And could you define Deeksha for our audience?
Yes, Deeksha is a transfer of energy. So one gets into the state of enlightenment, and though one is enlightened, there's a thing called the enlightened state. There's a difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So you get into an enlightened state and then you transfer those energies. So what I do is I transfer it to my followers, who in turn transfer it to other people. And these energies are received by what we call the sensory cells, which in turn take it to different parts of the brain and to different parts of the body, where a biological transformation occurs, which results in enlightenment. Actually, even in the ancient tradition, the guru is expected to give enlightenment. You do not become enlightened on your own. Your sadhana is only a preparation to receive Deeksha. And the guru is supposed to give it to you.
Oh.
So it was never the idea that in the Hindu tradition that you make it on your own. So the guru has to give it to you. Hence what we call the guru tradition or the guru parampara. Now my contention is, I don't see individuals as individuals. I see only humanity. And humanity has been here for ages now.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe humanity has done its sadhana and it is ready for this transformation. So that is why I tell now that no sadhana is required. Not that I deny sadhana, but sadhana has been done by mankind. It's all ready now.
Mm.
Hence it is possible to give Deeksha to the whole of humanity.
Oh. And that is what you're intending to do?
Yes.
Yes. And you intend to do that by what means?
I intend to do it through several means. I intend to get ready about 60,000 people who would be able to give Deeksha to the rest of mankind. But these Deekshas could be of various kinds. Now, if there were a painter, he could produce paintings and people looking at those paintings could receive Deeksha. Now, I intend to work with musicians who through their musical performance would be able to give Deeksha. So it will take various forms. So there could be somebody who could give a talk and in his talk Deeksha could occur and there could be enlightenment.
Mm.
So I intend to give it to 60,000 people and it would be their responsibility to enlighten mankind.
Mm.
And they will be spread across the globe in all the countries of the planet.
And so they will be doing so through the arts, through
Yes.
speaking.
Yes, through singing, through dancing.
Singing, through dance.
It could be anything.
And will that happen because they are containing the reality of enlightenment, and in a sense there's almost an infectious quality to it?
What happens is these are basically transference of energies. You can transfer energy through a painting. You can transfer energy through dance, through music, or even through a television program.
Mm-hmm.
If tomorrow, let us say, you are going to be enlightened in a big way, through your own television program, you could transfer the energies. People watching the program could receive the energies. So it could be done anyway, and the one must be ready to receive the energy And if he's prepared to receive the energy, and I believe most of mankind is prepared, then he makes it.
I see. I see.
Some could make it through a television program, some through a music program, some through a dance program, some through an art program, or some through getting touched by those who are enlightened. So it has to be on a big scale, on a massive scale, and it must be a many-splendid thing.
Yes.
It just cannot be only one way.
Yes, yes, yes.
I see that it's something which is going to definitely happen in the near future. It is possible. I believe the biofeedback system could be very useful. So science and spirituality are going to join hands sooner or later. Yes, but the results are physical.
Yes.
Although it is energetically done, ultimately it's like any other normal surgery. There's no difference at all. So surgery could be done either through physical intervention or intervening energetically. But the results are the same. Yes, not necessary at all. There are instances where people with kidney failures go to the doctor, get a medical report, we heal them, and then the medical report shows the kidneys are completely healed. So the whole thing was done energetically. The results are physical.
Yes, yes, yes.
And very often the doctors have described the thing as they seem to have brand new kidneys. It has been as dramatic as that.
And this is the kind of work you have done.
Yes. And these are things which are daily happening at Nemam. It's not once in a while happening. These things occur every day. So there are people who have undergone these things who can be spoken to.
Right. It's beautiful because you're doing more perhaps to advance energy medicine and vibrational healing than anyone around, more than our instruments and everything else. It's just wonderful. And so you also have the capacity, based on some of the writings about you, maybe you could comment on changing weather patterns as needed or things of this sort. I mean, truly miraculous, I mean, what we would consider miraculous events. There's a beautiful, touching story of a farmer not far from here who his field was blighted by insects, and he prayed to you, and you heard the call, or could you describe what happened and how that happens?
Well, we have to understand what we call the lokas. So we believe that there are other worlds, and we can sometimes cross from one world to the other. So let us say,
would you call those different dimensions, perhaps?
You might call it different dimensions.
Is that a fair?
That's probably a better word for the Western hemisphere. So we can sometimes bring these things from the other dimensions right onto the earth plane, have the work done, they can get back. Like when I produce honey in my Srimurti, it's from the other dimension. You cannot get that quality honey on any part of this world.
I see. So you have the ability to transport in some level.
Yes. Bring what is important is that it's not that I alone am doing it. A lot of my followers can do that. I'm trying to make this thing a very common thing. So there are many of my followers who can do this. For example, in this village there is a lady, if you can go and ask her to pray, she will pray and she'll get the honey out of her hands. It's not that I must do it from my Srimurti. So mine is some kind of a program where everybody can do these miracles.
I see.
Through prayer or through meditation or whatever form, they can do it themselves. So affecting the weather, my followers have done that. Some of my followers have brought the dead back to life. So it's not that I must be there to do it or I should do it.
Yes.
So you can say I'm producing miracle men and miracle women.
Yes.
That's exactly it. This is what I'm trying to do now. Produce a lot of spiritual teachers, spiritual gurus. So trying to empower the ordinary person.
Yes.
That he becomes a leader and helps mankind.
Right.
So you could say that all of my followers are leaders themselves.
Yes. You know that this is very unusual from a traditional point of
Quite
view.
unusual.
Right. Okay. Good. Well,
I believe because man is ripe for that. I think humanity is ripe for this major transition. Yes. Basically, what's happening in this work is the relationship between man and God is changing. So God is becoming a very, very personal friend here now. So the whole concept of God is undergoing a transformation.
I see.
And with that, the miracles are increasing.
I see.
So it's a major transition. I think all teachers and all faiths, they are helping man up to a point. And of course, they're also creating division between man and man. There's both the positive and the negative sides to religion. But it's my feeling that in the next few years, as humanity becomes enlightened, I see that these religions will undergo a radical transformation. I see some kind of a universal spirituality emerging, minus all the decorative elements of religion. So I don't see any religion which could divide man and man in the future. And I think that each one is going to create his own personal religion. A common religion, I think, would be dead. Each one would be creating his own ethical code, his own moral code, his own teachings, his own faith. I think it's all going to be highly individualistic in that sense. In fact, when people come to me and ask me to give them a moral or ethical code, I refuse to give one. I tell them he has to define his own code, and if he cannot do it, he can take a request from any existing code. But I'm not here to give him some code. So it's up to him.
It's very interesting.
That's why I often tell him, design your enlightenment, design your God. You be the designer. So it's all individual specific. Yes. See, basically my understanding is that all human problems and all worldly problems, they emerge from the fact that man functions from a narrow individualistic self. So when you do become enlightened, the self is no more there. You are only part of a big wholeness. So when you function from that level of consciousness, you cannot indulge in any kind of divisive behavior or action. And there can never be any conflict at all, which is not only the absence of conflict between man and man, but also between man and nature. And nobody would ever even dream of exploiting nature. So the whole scenario is going to change. So we are going to enter a very different world where we would function as one family. Nobody can feel the difference. In fact, this movement is going to be called the Oneness movement, because the closest you can come to enlightenment is the sense of oneness. That is, if you were talking to your wife, you would see that she is you. You feel completely one with her. So that is the state we're trying to give you. So when you feel one with everybody else, with nature and everything, so where is the problem? It's only when you feel separate that could be a problem. Oneness means there cannot be a problem. So we see the absence of all problems. The whole of humanity becoming enlightened. We'll all work together, we will live together, we will decide together. It's going to be a very different world. And thousands of people across the last decade have had visions of this in our programs. It's not one person or two people, it's thousands of them. We see clearly a new world. And thousands of people cannot be wrong in their visions.
That's right.
Across time and across races, across age groups. Yes, because there are a lot of predictions. Like, for example, they said that prophecies would pour forth from the mouths of children, that children would be enlightened. We have seen such phenomena happen. We have small children who are 6 and 7 years old who are enlightened and who function like prophets. So, what has been spoken in the scriptures, we have been eyewitness to such phenomena over the last decade or so. In fact, some of the acharyas you see here, they are from my earlier school. They joined this work as small children. That's quite unimaginable, that is.
Right.
So many of the scriptures are getting fulfilled. What we have noticed is people have come here to become enlightened. They have become enlightened and they have gone back to their homes. And enlightenment has naturally occurred in their homes to people who have not heard of the movement, who have not even heard of the word enlightenment. It is spreading. So therein lies hope for man.
Boy, oh boy.
Yes.
So essentially, if there is one person in a household
Yes.
who is enlightened,
Yes.
what happens?
Generally,
Potentially.
we find it is affecting the family, and in very many cases, we find the family members naturally making it. Though I would not say in all cases, in a majority of cases, this is happening.
That is extraordinary. So
It just spreads.
yeah, yeah. So there's something in the energy field
Yes.
of an enlightened being
Yes.
that is contagious,
Contagious.
if you will.
That is why we are talking if 60,000 people make it. That is enough for mankind to transit into the new age. Yes. See, this transformation is not going to bring down civilization and take us back to the Stone Age. Certainly, we are going to have all the good things that man has created over the last several centuries. But then certain things could go out of business, like the defense industry, for example. But because enlightenment is going to spread across the globe, including those who own these businesses, I think they'll find better avenues to earn money and to spend the money more usefully. I think there's no danger from them because they would be enlightened themselves. If they were not enlightened, there's definitely a definitive danger is there. But since they too are going to be enlightened, whether they like it or not, so there's not going to be much trouble.
Yes, very interesting. And so we will see, there will be a period, I assume, of some transition
Yes.
of moving from
Yes.
what they are currently making money at
Yes.
into something that would be of greater service
Yes.
to the larger humanity.
Yes. They would be concerned only about humanity thereafter. The joy that you get by making money would now become the joy of helping humanity.
Yes.
Much more joy, in fact.
Yes,
So I
indeed.
don't see any great trouble because it's not going to take time. It's going to sweep across the world. If it's going to take a lot of time, there could be serious trouble. But since nobody will have the time to react, it's going to be very fast.
I
So
see.
there's great hope for man.
You are truly the first that I know of who is saying, come,
Yes.
we will enlighten you,
Yes.
and we will be giving it to you.
Yes.
This is very powerful.
Yes.
You are, you are changing historical precedent.
Yes.
I know you said that earlier in the Hindu tradition that
Yes.
this was typical,
Yes, typical,
but that
yeah.
seems to have died down.
Yes. And also they used to give probably during their lifetimes to 1 or 2 people, not to a large number of people. A guru was not given to 1, 2 or 3 people,
Yes, yes,
but
yes.
not
yes.
on this scale.
Yes, exactly.
This is almost on a massive scale.
It's really remarkable.
And actually, though we are not going out very public, the more the numbers, the more easy it's going to be, and the faster.
The faster.
The lesser the numbers, it becomes difficult. The more the numbers, it's very, very fast.